So one of the things I have to do every time I get home with my truck is I need to plug it in. I plug in this extension cord here, keeps my EcoFlow batteries fully charged when the truck is sitting here for weeks at a time, because in the back I keep my fridge running. As well, I have tucked under here somewhere is my EcoFlow alternator charger to keep my vehicle's battery topped up. This sits for several weeks. It sort of draws energy slowly down and then it won't start. So rather than do this all the time, I saw the boys over at Epic putting a new product on their Jeeps, and that is a hood mounted solar panel from a company called Cascadia 4x4, which actually is a Canadian company local here in British Columbia, which is super cool. So I was thinking, why don't we put some solar on the hood of the Demonator, and then maybe it'll give us enough constant power charging in this beautiful sunshine we have here so that I don't need to plug it in all the time. So I was watching the video that Epic put out putting hood mounted solar panels on their Jeeps, started reading the comments, and like the #1 comment by far was, when are they gonna have a kit available for the Mojave /392 hood with the scoop on it? So I got in contact with Cascadia 4x4, and it turns out they're just releasing their Mojave /392 hood kit right now. And so I was looking through the rest of their products because I was thinking of Chef John and his 4Runner, and noticed that their hood solar kit for their Toyota 4Runner didn't support 4Runners with hood scoops. And so when I was talking to David at Cascadia 4x4, I said, hey, are you guys ever gonna come out with something for the Toyota with the hood scoop? And he said, actually, we just got our first one in, the only one they have. So they were kind enough to send over a whole bunch of solar panel kits. Not a whole bunch, but they were kind enough to send over a couple solar panel kits. We've got one for, well, there's all kinds of parts here. There's like 7 boxes of stuff. We've got the charging controllers, I'm guessing, are in here. We've got solar panels of different sizes because we've got different hoods, but we've got 2 kits here today. One for the Mojave /392 hood with the scoop, and one for the Toyotas with the hood scoop as well. So we're gonna install solar on my truck and Chef John's 4Runner today. And we'll see just what's different with putting the solar on this type of hood. See, we've got the big intake duct here because this started out as a Mojave, Demonator is not actually a model of Jeep that you can buy. And if you have the 392 hood, it's basically the same. So today's video is going to be focused purely on installing and testing solar panels on the hood of my Jeep. I am working on a video about electrifying your camping setup, which I'm going to talk about and go into detail about how my power system is set up in my truck, how the batteries are set up, how charging works, and how I've eliminated the need to really bring gas or propane in order to go camping. So if you want to check out that video, guys, it's coming in a few weeks. Make sure you subscribe. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, guys. I appreciate it. If you want to join the channel, don't miss any of the videos I upload every week. Hit the subscribe button, and let's go unbox some stuff. And waiting on Chef John, he's late. Chef, always late. Yo.
I washed my car, so naturally a bird decided
Just
to...
crapped all over it. So there's the hood scoop that I was telling you guys about. So 4Runners have a hood scoop. The Demonator has a hood scoop, which has caused problems, I guess, or makes the other kits incompatible.
Yeah, the good 4Runners have a hood scoop.
Yeah. a lot of made in Canada.
Yeah.
Like, did they actually make the solar panels in Canada? Like, do we actually make solar panels in Canada?
I don't know.
I mean, it says
Maybe
made
a
in
good
Canada.
question for
But like, I don't know if everybody, like this doesn't say made in Canada. This does. Now, I actually opened this one yesterday because it came with a big ding, but it was right in the middle where.
Oh, okay.
But they pack this stuff like crazy good. Like,
yeah.
Like these are like reinforced cardboard boxes. So Cascadia 4x4 has been around for a while. They've had a hood solar kit in the past, but this is their new version, version 2.0. And so it installs a little bit different. We put a, what's this, TPU vinyl down on the hood. And then we put these, they're not Velcro if I remember Epic's video, but we put these little pads down, which are like, was it? I can't remember what they call them.
It's like, if you think about it, like plastic Velcro. It's like hard plastic Velcro is what it looks like.
But these panels, you can see we've got a foam ring that goes around them, so it lifts them off the hood, and I think it's supposed to reduce the heat, because heat is not good for solar. 3M Dual Lock, that's what these are. 3M Dual Lock. What do we need? Initial wash, spray bottle with propol, dish soap and water, we've got that. But basically this is going to connect right up to the vehicle's battery and maintain a charge directly into your vehicle's battery all the time. So you don't actually need another power system or anything like that. This is completely standalone on its own. Oh, made in Canada.
Made in Canada.
They must go through a lot of these stickers, like they're on everything.
Oh, this is the extra accessory kit. So yeah, it does come, they give you this as well, which gives you another DC output, gives you a voltage indicator.
This is an add-on to the kit though. This is, so you can order the solar panel with the cables, the mounting, and then there's this guy here, which you can run into your vehicle, and then you could say, plug your power station into the 12 volt on this if you wanted. But this here is the 15 amp MPPT. Oh, it's Bluetooth too. So this is the charge controller. So this is what the solar panel is going to connect to, because you can't connect your solar panel directly to your vehicle's battery, because they put out usually between like 30 and 60 volts. So we need a charge controller to actually regulate the voltage. So you can see here we've got an input for the solar, and then we've got an output for the battery, and then we've got an output for the accessory kit, which is this kit, so we could run that into the Jeep if we want it. My goal for this is to have this attached to the battery and charging the battery up, and then hopefully it keeps the battery topped off high enough that my EcoFlow alternator charger can just draw off the battery as it's over voltage and charge my EcoFlow power stations when it's sitting there parked in the driveway. Okay, keep as flat as possible. So I can feel there's foam on the bottom. So we've got this foam layer here, which is, yes, kind of tacky, which keeps this elevated off the hood a bit, but then they use these dual lock connectors to bridge the gap and keep this from flying off while you're driving down the highway.
Yeah.
Chef John rocking some merch today. Got the Dirty and Dangerous t-shirt.
I think this is the current generation of stuff. Yeah.
You guys can grab some merch at dirtyanddangerous.com. We've got Dirty and Dangerous and Safety Second available on the website. It goes up and around like a big T.
No, I think it goes upside down.
Or it goes upside down.
Yeah. So I think it's going to go.
It's like Tetris. Oh yeah, because the wires come off the top and then we route them under the hood.
I think it's going to end up going like that.
Yeah.
So that's what it's going to look like.
All right, so you've got.
Are these? I mean, we're assuming these are both for the Toyota. So
I'm making this assumption. But is it like two panels that connect together?
So it is worth noting they don't sell this one yet, right?
I think there's a pre-order button on their website, but I will put links to everything in the video if you want to go check it out for yourself at Cascadia's website. Or you can click on or scan, not click on, but you can scan this QR code that's going to be right here on the screen, and that'll take you to their site. Now, these are affiliate links, guys. They don't charge you any more money, but I do make a small commission off these links if you click on them and buy something, and it supports me making videos on the channel and keeping content coming. So I appreciate it. No cost to you guys, and support a Canadian business, Cascadia 4x4. That's going to go like that.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get...
I don't think this...
Well, you got to turn it around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, other side, maybe?
Yeah, because you've got the edges on there.
Okay. Yeah, that probably goes...
Oh, that's cool.
Probably goes like that,
So you get a center panel, a couple wing panels.
Yeah.
Spread the solar out across a couple panels.
Because this is probably that's probably too much of a curve for it to go on. And they can't... So I was wondering if they were going to go, because there's like some of their kits where it actually goes around a cowl. I think it's on the Land Cruiser or something like that. It goes around the cowl. But I was wondering what it was going to look like. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely the 400 version.
Yeah. So that'll go on like that.
So we'll need a couple of things for this install. They do supply you with all the main pieces, but we're going to need isopropyl alcohol, a slip solution, which is going to be basically dish soap and water, a couple microfiber towels, a heat gun to dry this out. You'll see here in a second the vinyl that we have to put down, and they recommend some nitrile gloves and some scissors. So, okay, so we're just testing where these controllers are gonna go. On the Gladiator, it's gonna mount to the top of our fuse box, which shouldn't be an issue. Watch your hands.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an issue because I don't have anything going on, but on John's, he's got a little bit more crazy wiring going on here.
Yeah, mine's...
So where are we gonna mount? Oh, to this?
Well, yeah, I guess, I mean, can probably still fit it there. I just have to
tuck it under your existing wiring and move things around and clean
We've
this
got-
up. So I've pulled the truck in the shade. We don't want this in the heat, in the direct sun, because it will dry out our slip solution for the vinyl piece that we're gonna put on. So we're gonna throw that on first. Hood's nice and cool, and then we'll dry it with the heat gun. So this is, I think, where two people come in handy, because one person can peel and one person can spray. But okay,
grab that side of it.
that's good. It's a good thing we can move it around.
Yeah.
I need a second. I need a second ladder.
Now they do include a ruler that gives you distances you're supposed to measure from the top end, but I don't think for the Mojave hood that it...
I don't think they have their measurements in there yet for the Mojave.
Yeah, what we can do is measure between the windshield bumpers or whatever the hell these things are called.
The footman loops.
The footman loops, is that what they're
I believe
called?
that's the name for them.
Wow. We can measure the gaps here to make sure we're even on both sides.
I have a pretty good eye.
Yeah, there you go. If you want to give it the old laser,
I think we need
laser eye.
We'll check these gaps here at the front and these gaps at the footman loops. But it's looking pretty good from my angle, to be honest. You can see here where it says we want a gap between the sticker and the hood. Different gaps for different hoods. They're gonna need, like, what's the gap, do you think, between the hood and this sticker?
I mean,
We can tell everybody's watching.
yeah, it's centimeters. It's about 13 centimeters.
13 centimeters?
Yeah.
So the biggest one here is 20 mils, which is 2 centimeters. So
Yeah.
the Mojave spaces out quite a bit more. I think really where it's at is to measure it to be about 3 centimeters off of this,
Yeah.
off of the front where the hood scoop is. And then you get a pretty uniform flat spot on the hood.
There's a big air bubble right there. It's pushing out.
Yeah, so we want this smooth as glass.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a cool effect. I mean, if it didn't have these alignment holes, to have a black, some sort of vinyl on the hood there. This is super glossy. You see, like, if we were doing this for, like, automotive vinyl that we want it to look really good, we definitely want to clay bar this before. I'm not sure if you can see this, but all the little specks in the paint rise the vinyl up. It's not going to matter for the solar panel, but whatever. Just some tips if you guys are putting vinyl on. But now we got to dry this with a heat gun. I can't find my extension cord, but you know what? I do have an extension cord plugged in to my EcoFlow Delta 2 Pro, which has tons of juice because I keep that under here. And as I was saying, we're electrifying our camping setup. I'm going to do a whole video on how all this is set up coming up, so make sure you subscribe for that one. And yeah, we got power anywhere we need it around the Jeep. The power bar, which has survived inclement weather and camping everywhere. And this very durable heat gun. And this is what I use for powering all my stuff around camp, anywhere where I need household power. So the EcoFlow runs this at 1500 watts, no problem. So I'm just gonna warm this in the middle a little bit, I guess, and make sure this is all where it should be. Okay, our alignment vinyl is on, and we've squeegeed it out, dried it with the heat gun. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, maybe pull it in the sun to keep it super dry, but you can see how this works, right? So this is gonna show us exactly where we need to stick each of those 3M dual lock pieces. Next step is we gotta clean each of these little areas with the adhesive primer pads that it comes with so that there's no chance of any of those detaching from the hood, because really this isn't to install anything. This is to align all of your dual lock pieces and protect your paint from the foam that sits underneath the solar panel. So we don't have to worry about getting adhesion promoter. They do include a couple of these wipes. Now there's a couple for yours, a couple for mine. So we've got lots here, and then we can put these dual lock. Now are they already on the solar panel back paint? Yeah, they're already on there. I believe, so we only have to put one side on, right? Yeah. So we don't even have to put. So we only have to put them on the hood, because the solar panel comes with them already installed on the bottom. And then we'll get to the wiring, which should be pretty straightforward. Just got a little spongy pad in there.
Little spongy pad.
Ooh, it smells, holy moly.
So I did read that it is okay to get it on a little bit on the vinyl.
Okay.
Our main thing is it says, make sure you cover the hole. So they say, I mean, it's pretty common sense.
Just put one everywhere.
Put it on and make sure you have like an even amount of paint showing around it.
And don't touch
the underside, because you will mess up.
Okay. Don't touch the sticky side. Don't screw this up. Put them in the right spot. Yeah, it's not like nobody's watching this at all. Oh, that one I screwed up. Well, there we go.
Perfect. I mean, better to start like that than...
They're like really tight, so it was kind of trying to figure out how to align it, but really just align it with almost no gap. Woo! All right, so there's a good look at the underside. We've got all of the dual lock on here. We've got some foam to give it some air, keep it cooler, operate more efficiently, because that's how solar panels work. And really, at this point, we just drop her on, and then we'll do the cable routing, which is going to come up and under the hood. So I guess with this install, you've got a bit more cable showing because of it being a Mojave. So we get a bit of extra adjustment here, because you don't have to have them perfectly aligned to the 3M pads, but you want the panel to look good after. Looks pretty straight going across right here, because this is the line I'm using to align is the
So the
intake.
The interesting thing on this one is it's not actually, when it goes up, it's not actually flat. It kind of it bows out a little bit. So it's got
a little bit of a bend to it.
Yeah,
it's gonna get the ultimate heat durability test here for sure.
So it says to give it a...
Oh, you hear them all click into place, eh?
Yeah.
So this is not like, it's not like Velcro at all. It's all, it's clicking and locking. You hear it chunk it in. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but each one is locking in place. And then we've got the seal with the foam around the outside edge, which should keep the crap out of this too. But I guess you can always peel this off and wash it underneath and then put it back on too, which is nice.
They don't recommend, Reddit says they don't recommend you take it on and off a lot.
Okay.
I think that's most likely just due to the stress that it's pulling up on the adhesion strips.
Well, you're probably pulling this off, you're bending the panel more too, so you're risking fracturing. So you see, we're gonna have to, this cable is gonna route down. Now, normally they'd say 10 to 20 mils depending on your installation, which that's probably about 1 centimeter or about 10 mils. So you probably, instead of getting that 10 to 20 mils, we're gonna get, like you said, probably 10 centimeters. We're just routing the wire through, we're gonna route it directly through the center of the hood. I taped a box over top of the solar panel because I had to pull this out in the sun, and I just don't want these wires to have 60 volts potentially of current running through them while we're doing this, so it's just shading the panel. But we're gonna put that right through the middle, and then we're gonna tack it down here with some of their sticky panels. It's in the hood of the right, the hood of the truck. Can you get that dirt over there?
Yeah.
So we decided we're gonna attach it to the underside of the hood. We've picked the perfect center on the truck. And then we're gonna route it along the hood. And right here, we're gonna tuck it in because there's lots of space under the cowl for the excess wire. If you were advantageous, you could, I don't know if that's the right word, but if you were a keener, you could actually strip this wire back and shorten it. We're just gonna leave it the way it is. And it's The excess is in the cowl here. We're just gonna zip tie that up once we're done. And that way I can bring it in underneath this foam with the rest of the wires that come in from underneath the cowl. And we're gonna mount the controller on top of the fuse block. Now I've got the Z Automotive switch assembly here, so that gives us a bit of a overhang over top of the battery so that I can mount all my connectors underneath so it looks super clean. You guys will just kind of have to play with this. Different engine bays are gonna have different configurations. I'll show you how we do Chef John's here in a minute in the 4Runner. So once again, we need to prep the surfaces that we're putting the 3M little tabs on that have the cable holders on them. So we're gonna wipe that down, and then that's what the other pack of adhesion promoter is for. Okay, while we're waiting for the adhesive promoter to dry, we're gonna grab the Cascadia tether app off my app store or wherever. Dude, there we go, Cascadia install.
So I'm using this bolt as my guide.
90% rule.
Yeah. It's good.
I guess the thing now to do is plug the panel in, keeping in mind that we have the solar panel covered, so there's not really any voltage on the wires. So before we connect it to the battery, let's see if uncovering the panel gives it enough juice to start up. Oh, there we go. Create a custom name for your device. Well, only one name we can give this. Demonator. So we have, what kind of battery do we have in here? Gel, liquid, I think it's a lead acid because I haven't put an AGM in here, or did it come with an AGM from the factory?
All good questions.
Okay, well, it's online, but it's not connected to the battery, so it's not giving us any information about charging. But we are getting 36.8 volts. Okay, we're just going to attach our positive and negative here to our Epic Wizard. I need to find the rest of the bolts because there's more space for stuff to go in there. All right, so we'll just speed run through Chef John's install here, but he's got a little bit more work cut out for him. He's got to align 3 pieces of vinyl on the hood, and once we get those aligned, then that'll align the solar panels. So yeah, this is the most important step. When this is out, I'm sure Cascadia will have some install instructions for the 4Runner specifically. We're doing the first one. So I just want to show you guys how this is going to line up, and the rest after this is pretty much identical to the Demonator. So we're going to finish up the wiring on there, and I'll show you guys how this works, how much voltage is coming off and how much watts are coming off the panels, and then I'll show you how we're going to do under the engine bay for John. So if you guys are watching this for your Toyota friends, you can have some details. So the big difference with John's setup is we've got 3 panels on top, and they're individually wired together, or individually wired each other, and so we have to connect them in series. We don't want to connect them in parallel, or that'll mess with the voltage. We want to connect them in series so we just get more amps out of these. So we've brought all 3 back to the hood, under the hood, and basically one of them we take the black and connect it to the red of the other one, and that leaves us with a black to plug into the charge controller. And then the other side of that, we take the red and plug it into the black of the other one, the third one, and then that leaves us with a red. So at the end of the day, we've got 3 panels connected in series. Definitely a big difference from 1 panel like we have on the hood of the Gladiator to 3 panels for the hood design of the 4Runner. Now, when we looked at the instructions, this is the only 3-panel one that Cascadia 4x4 has. So they do say to use this method for the 2 panels. I'm guessing it's going to work the same for 3 panels. It's just all in in series, not parallel. So what we're trying to do with John's is we've got to bring all the wires and collect them together. I think what would be better, to be honest, is having a harness that allows you to run them in series along the hood rather than run them in series right at the end, because this is what we're having here, is we're having to bring all the cables back in series, and that leaves us with different lengths of excess cable. And so what we should do is, when we get a bit of time, is we'll trim all these cables down and we'll just connect them all together in series rather than with these solar connectors. And then that'll eliminate this giant spool of wire, and we'll cut them all right to length, and we can actually wire them in series as we go across the top. But I think my only suggestion with this kit for the guys at Cascadia, which I'm sure are watching, is have a harness that only has the 2 connectors you need to connect to the MPPT controller, the solar controller here, that comes up maybe with like a 2-foot, 3-foot lead or something like that, and then have shorter wires for the panels, or at least give you more flexibility for tucking those wires, because the only option right now is to tuck them very close to the source of where they all join up in series, because they're all the same length off of each panel. So if there's a better way to wire them in series before you get to the battery and the charge controller, that would be my only suggestion.
There we go. Looks nice.
Yeah, that's a cool design. I mean, this kit is really cut everything, like everything's pre-cut exactly to size and exactly for where you need it. And then I've got everything nicely tucked underneath my Z Automotive panel, and then all I've got left is this dongle here to connect to the 12-volt accessory pack, which we would install inside. So now if we close our hood, we should see our batteries charge, well, once we get the cardboard off the roof. So we got 30 watts coming in, we got 32 volts coming off, 1 amp coming off the solar panels. Now, my battery is fully charged up because it was connected to the EcoFlow alternator charger, and it was charging my battery. So I turned that off, and this is actually now going to be drawing off the battery. So the idea is to have the solar panel charge the main battery with the Cascadia 4x4 system, and then the alternator charger is going to be drawing off the main battery, charging the EcoFlow devices, and it'll stop charging when it gets below 12.0 volts. All right, so there it is, installed on the hood. Final thoughts. I think the things to think about, big difference with the Mojave is you're going to have way more cable sticking out the top. So you can't really get it any closer because of the curvature of the hood. So keep that in mind. Instead of having 1 to 2 centimeters of cable coming off the solar panel, you're going to have like 10 centimeters, or what's that, about 4 inches or so of cable. But really nice fit and finish. I mean, the quality of this package and design is really awesome. I mean, this is a really good fit between the hoops on the hood. I mean, you're losing a little bit of, I guess, solar panel size maybe compared to some of the other kits, but really well put together. You've got this nice air gap spacer underneath. Hopefully this doesn't get too hot from the supercharger, but honestly, I mean, like, the hood gets so hot you can barely touch it anyways. And the solar panel, ooh, it's actually cooler. So solar panel is 128 degrees Fahrenheit, 26. Hood is 133, 131, 136. So we're 15 degrees cooler with the solar panel, 120, 122-ish. So that's good. I mean, it's actually a lot cooler by not being attached to the hood in the direct sunlight, even though it's completely black. And then, you know, like this, the whole controller, MPPT controller setup, really nice and clean. Everything just goes in here. I'm not sure if I'll use the accessory or not. The reason why you'd want that accessory box, I'll show it to you, but it's if you want to run this in to your Jeep and have a 12-volt connector and some USB ports running off your battery, you can do that. And then this will control the voltage cutoff, the low voltage cutoff, so you can't actually kill your vehicle's battery by draining it. So you could have a fridge or something plugged into it, or you could be charging your portable power station or something like that. So this is the 12 volt accessory kit that you can add on to that extra port on the MPPT controller. Basically it's just going to come with a spool of wire with the connectors pre-made for it. And then we would route that into the cab of our vehicle. And then we just have to find somewhere to put these plugs basically. So we've got a, let me take these out. We've got a frame here and a couple plugs. So you would need somewhere to mount this to. I mean, I guess we could mount this inside our goose gear seat delete, but we've got these two plugs here. It's just a 12 volt barrel connector, which you can plug in, say, your fridge, but keep in mind you can only plug your EcoFlow or fridge and draw up to usually about 8 amps off of these. And then we've got some USB ports here as well. So we've got a regular USB port and a USB-C 65 watt. All right, there we go. So we got both trucks installed. John seems to be getting about the same charging rate as my panel. I definitely think out of the two, the Jeep is an easier install. There's less wiring to deal with. John's got to take off. But the 4Runner with the 3 separate panels, there's just more wires to deal with. So I would recommend taking some time and splicing them right to the right length rather than just using the configured lengths of wires. You'll get a much cleaner install under the hood of your 4Runner. The Gladiator, and this will work on the 392 Wrangler as well. Fairly straightforward. And if you want to see an install of a regular Jeep without the scoops on the hoods, the boys over at Epic did an install with the Cascadia 4x4 new VSS 2.0 solar system on their Jeeps. You can check it out over at Epic's Epic 4-Wheel Drive's YouTube page. Before we wrap up the video, I didn't forget, does the solar panel keep my fridge running, keep my EcoFlow batteries topped up all the time? The answer is no, it's not enough. It is enough to extend the running time of my fridge in the Jeep, but the fridge is drawing on average about 60 watts per hour, probably because it's warm inside the back of the canopy on the truck. And I'm averaging about 25 watts coming in off this solar panel. Now this is the smallest solar panel that Cascadia sells. Some of the larger ones have higher output. So you might be able to get by with that. But for me, it's not enough to keep the fridge running, just extend the battery life duration, how long I can sit parked without having to plug in. So I will have to plug my truck in, which is going to lead me to beefing up the solar input on the truck. We're going to look at putting some solar panels on top of the rooftop tent. I need to get over that 100 watts per hour during the day mark so that I can top my batteries up and then have enough to deplete over the night. So I'm going to probably look at 200 or 300 watts of solar on the roof, plus the panel that we have on the Cascadia 4x4 panel. But what's nice is this is preventing my battery from being drained when my Jeep sits for weeks on end and then not being able to start. So that is handy. Anyways, it's been a couple days and I've had a chance to test the runtime, and that's the results. Like I said, guys, there's going to be a fully electrified camping video coming out. I know a lot of you guys have asked me, based on the last electrified camping video I did, to talk more about the entire system and not just some of the gear I'm using. So that's going to be a whole video coming up in a few weeks. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to check out Cascadia 4x4, there is a QR code right here. You can check that out with your phone, or there's links down in the description, pin comment, all that fun stuff. And you can go grab one for yourself, and then make them for all kinds of vehicles, not just Jeeps and 4Runners. With that said, guys, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Help me hit 100,000 subscribers. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it a ton. My name's Casey, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.